Handyman Dad.
Hey guys, welcome back for another Dad Advice video on how to make drip coffee. I didn't know before I got this awesome Sunbeam drip coffee maker, so I just figured it out and I figured I would share this with somebody. So let's get started. Okay, so step one, we need to fill the reservoir. So we'll just turn it around here so you can see, and so all the water actually sits in the back here. So what you want to do is you want to take the jug, and it has indicators on the front for how many cups you actually would like to make, and this is actually pretty important. So let's say we want to make 6 in the morning, so you know, like my wife and I could have 2 cups, or sorry, a cup each, and then we'd have enough to sort of throw in our to-go mugs. So let's start with that. We'll put 6 we'll put the 6 cups in. That's about right. There we go. Okay, so back at the coffee maker, we're going to just lift the lid like this. Oh, sorry. There we go. And we're going to take the water from the jug we poured and just pour it into the back in the reservoir. Just like that. Make sure it's all in there. Okay, and then we just place. We're just going to move the spout here. And I'll pull this out just so you can see. This is where the filter, the paper filter sits, and this is where the coffee grinds go. And that's what it looks like. So we're just gonna put it down back here. Okay, this is the filter paper. This is what goes in, this is where your coffee grinds go inside the paper, and the paper goes into this little cup here. So we just make sure we take one out. Just make sure that you have to have just one. Now these kind of stick together. I personally find it's easy to separate these by just blowing on the edge to make sure you have just one of these, because if you have more than one, the water will not filter through into the pot. It actually bubbles up and pours back either into the reservoir or all over the place and makes a giant mess. So we have one filter paper. It sits in like this, just like that. And now we're ready to add the coffee grounds. Okay, so here's our coffee grounds. My wife and I, we like this brand. It's a Kirkland brand, Colombian coffee. It's got a nice flavor, and I'm going to show you now. So remember, we did 6 cups. So the rule of thumb, I don't know if it might be official or not, but we usually put half the scoops of coffee grinds to water. So in this case, we use 6 cups of water. We want to do 3 scoops of the coffee grinds, and I'm pretty liberal here. Like, I don't mind it too much. I find it makes better coffee, but you know, it's just personal preference. So 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And we'll just see what that looks like inside. Yeah, there you go. And then we just slide the water spout back over the middle and close the top. Now we can get to programming. Okay guys, here's the control panel. So the first thing you want to do is you want to set your clock, and it's pretty straightforward. You got hour and minute, and every time you press it once, the hour on the clock will go up. So you want to set the right time. So the current time here, it's actually just 7 o'clock. So we're just going to keep pressing it. We're in AM, PM, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll just press this. The minute, sorry, 1, 2, 3. So now it's 7, and that's it. You don't have to mess around with it anymore. So on this side, we have our 2 options. We have delay brew or brew now. So if we press brew now, the machine will turn on, and I'll do it really quickly just so you can see the light. So if we do it, it's a green light, and it's starting the process to percolate and brew it now. So we're going to turn it off. What you could do, what we do is we delay brew, which is fantastic. I love it. So we'll press the button once, right? So now it wants to know what time you want the coffee pot to turn on. So we hear it says for 7, but let's say we wanted it for 7:05. So it's already 7. We just go to 7:05. Okay, and then we press the delay brew one more time, and now it's set for 7:05 a.m. because it's 7 p.m. right now. And that's it. And you notice the light color is different. So if you turn this on at night, if it's red, as long as it's red, you'll be good for the next morning. If it's green, it's gonna start doing its process and you don't want that. Okay guys, for the sake of completeness, we're just gonna brew this as it is. Just to show you, you know, or actually, so you can hear the sounds that it makes, so you just kind of get used to it. It makes a little bit of a noise. It's not too loud. We don't hear it, obviously, in the morning, because it's done by the time we get down after dealing with the kids. But let's just press the button now to brew, and let's let it do its thing. Okay, and there we have it. There's our 6 cups. So, one thing I just wanted to mention, like something that we likes and dislikes. So I like it. It's very simple. You can set your timer. It's very easy to sort of deal with. There isn't a lot to setting it up, getting it ready and going. Cleanup's fairly easy. Because this is a glass pot. Now this is sort of not a complaint, but this is something to keep in mind. Because these are fairly cheap, you can get them almost anywhere, inexpensive. But because this is a glass pot, if you take this pot off of its element, let's say you put it on the counter or on the table when you're having coffee, because it's glass, you'll lose a lot of heat. The coffee actually cools down a lot faster. So I believe there are models with a steel pot. And if you have a steel pot, it would keep the heat of the coffee a little bit longer, if that matters to you. For us, it doesn't really matter. As long as you leave the brew on and this light is green, the heating element at the bottom of the coffee pot will keep the coffee warm. So if you return the pot to the unit, as it is here, it will stay warm. But when you're done with it, when everything's done or you're about to leave or you've emptied it out, you definitely want to press the brew button one more time to turn the system off. And this will turn off that element, so you don't have to worry about it. But there you have it. I mean, it's fantastic. It's very easy to use, and we recommend that. It's great. It saves us every day. And that's it. Drip coffee. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching.